Every day someone takes their final breath, but according to the forbidden Book of Enoch, that is the exact moment the soul begins crossing hidden heavens. What happens in those first moments after death? Does the soul keep its memory, its pain, its identity? Enoch describes a journey through multiple heavens where every wound, every choice, and every truth about who we became is revealed before God. And what happens there may change everything you believe about death. So let's begin where every human story ends, and where, according to the forbidden book, the real journey begins, the moment of death itself. The body stops, the heart is silent, the brain ceases to fire. But according to Enoch, you don't stop. In the Book of Enoch, chapter 22 describes what happens in the exact moment of separation when the soul leaves the flesh. And what Enoch saw was not peaceful. It was not instant rest. It was awareness. Full, undeniable, inescapable awareness. The soul doesn't fade into unconscious sleep. It doesn't dissolve into nothingness. Instead, it separates from the body fully conscious, carrying with it every memory, every emotion, every unresolved pain it experienced in life. You remember everything: your name, your face, the people you loved, the people you hurt, the moments you wish you could take back, the words you never said. And here's what makes this terrifying. You don't just remember your life, you feel it all at once. Every joy, every regret, every wound, every betrayal, every act of love, every moment of cruelty. The soul, Enoch writes, rises from the body not as a blank slate, but as the sum total of everything it became on earth, and it rises alone. This is where most religious traditions stop. They tell you, the soul goes to heaven or hell. End of story. But Enoch saw something different. He describes the soul entering the first realm beyond death, a place of waiting, of separation, of awareness without resolution. It's not paradise. It's not torment. It's a place where souls are gathered according to what they carry. Enoch 22, 9-10 describes 4 divisions in this realm. One for the righteous who died in peace. Their souls shine with light, awaiting final glorification. One for the righteous who suffered unjustly. Their souls cry out not in despair but in longing for justice. One for sinners who were never punished on earth. Their souls are held in darkness, conscious of what they did, waiting for judgment. And one for sinners who were already punished in life. Their souls exist in torment, knowing their suffering on earth was not enough to erase what they became. 4 categories, 4 states of being, all conscious, all aware, none asleep. So the question isn't, does the soul survive death? The question is, does suffering continue after death? And according to Enoch, the answer is yes, but not in the way you think, because the pain the soul carries is not random. It's not punishment for punishment's sake, it's testimony. Every wound the soul brings into the first heaven is a record. Every scar is evidence. Every memory of injustice, betrayal, or cruelty becomes a witness before God. The soul doesn't just experience pain after death, it presents it. And this is where the journey deepens. Because if the soul carries memory, pain, and identity into the first heaven, then what happens to that pain in the heavens above? On earth, we forget. We forget the faces of people who wronged us. We forget the exact moment our hearts broke. We forget the details of our worst days. Time mercifully erases the sharpest edges of pain. But in the heavens, Enoch describes, nothing is forgotten. In Enoch chapter 47, he witnesses something that changes everything. The books. Not metaphorical books, not symbolic records. Actual books, written in light, inscribed by angels, containing every single moment of every human life in perfect, unbearable detail. Every word spoken, every thought harbored, every act of kindness, every secret cruelty, every tear shed in private, every lie told in public. All of it recorded. Enoch 47:3 says, "In those days the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the just ascended before the Lord of spirits." This isn't poetry. This is legal language. The pain you suffered on earth doesn't disappear when you die. It ascends. It becomes evidence in a cosmic trial, Your suffering is documented, catalogued, and presented before the throne of God as testimony. And here's what most people miss. The books don't just record what happened to you. They record what you became because of it. Did injustice make you bitter or compassionate? Did suffering harden your heart or break it open? Did pain turn you into someone who inflicts it on others, or someone who shields others from it? The books don't just hold facts, they hold transformation. This is where Enoch's vision becomes almost unbearable, because he describes souls standing before these records, not to be shamed, but to be understood. In chapter 22, the righteous souls who suffered unjustly don't stand silent. They cry out. Enoch 22, 5-7. Why has our blood been poured out, and our righteous judgment not been avenged? These aren't souls in peace. They're souls demanding justice. They're holding up their pain like evidence, saying, "This happened to me. I carried this, I endured this, and I need it to mean something." And God doesn't silence them. He listens. Because in the economy of heaven, suffering is not wasted. Pain is not dismissed. Every tear, every wound, every moment of agony that seemed meaningless on earth is given weight in eternity. The books prove that your pain mattered, that it was seen, that it will be answered. On earth, pain often feels random, senseless, cruel. A child dies, a good person suffers, evil people prosper, justice never comes. We're told, everything happens for a reason. But standing at a graveside, that phrase feels like an insult. But Enoch saw something different. He saw that the pain you carry doesn't need to happen for a reason to be redeemed. The books in heaven don't explain why you suffered. They record that you suffered, and they turn that suffering into a voice that will not be silenced until justice is done. Your tears are not forgotten. They are archived. Your wounds are not dismissed. They are evidence. Your unanswered cries for help on earth become answered cries for justice in heaven. And according to Enoch, the angels themselves take those cries and bring them directly before God. Enoch 9:1-3 describes the archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, hearing the blood of the murdered crying out from the earth. And they go before the Lord and say, "You see what he has done. You see the wickedness. You see the innocent blood. How long will you remain silent?" Even the angels demand justice on behalf of human suffering. But here's the part that should terrify you. Because the books don't just record what was done to you. They record what you did. Every choice. Every moment where you had the power to harm or heal. Every time you chose cruelty over mercy. Every time you looked away when you could have helped. Enoch 108:3 says, "Now I swear to you, the righteous, by his great glory, that all your deeds are written down every day until the day of your judgment." Not some of your deeds, all of them. The moments you're proud of, and the moments you've buried so deep you've almost convinced yourself they didn't happen. Both are there. Both will be opened. Both will speak. So if the soul carries memory, and the heavens hold perfect records, and pain becomes testimony, and choices become evidence, then what happens to the soul itself as it moves deeper into the presence of God? Does it stay the same? Or does something change? Enoch saw the answer. And what Enoch saw next reveals a transformation of the soul far deeper than most sacred texts ever dare to describe. On earth we are trapped in flesh that decays. We age, we weaken, we break. Our bodies betray us, sickness invades, pain becomes constant, and eventually the vessel that carried us through life simply breaks. We are born into corruption, and we die in corruption. But Enoch saw what happens when the soul ascends beyond the first heaven, beyond the place of waiting, beyond the books, beyond the testimony. He saw transformation, not symbolic, not metaphorical, physical, literal, terrifying transformation. In Enoch chapter 71, something happens to Enoch himself that reveals what awaits every righteous soul. He is brought into the highest heaven, into the direct presence of God, and his body changes. Enoch 71:1. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into the heavens, and I saw the holy sons of God. But it's what happens next that matters. Enoch 71:11. And he came to me and greeted me with his voice, and said to me, This is the Son of Man who is born unto righteousness, and all the treasures of that which is hidden will be revealed to him. Enoch doesn't just see the glorified ones, he becomes one. His flesh, his weak, mortal, corruptible flesh, is replaced, not destroyed, not discarded, transformed. But the transformation doesn't happen gently. Enoch describes the presence of God as fire, not the fire of destruction, the fire of purification. In chapter 14, Enoch is brought before the throne of God, and he describes what he sees. Enoch 14:9-13. And I looked and saw a lofty throne, and from underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look at it. This fire isn't meant to consume the righteous. It's meant to burn away everything that isn't eternal. Every lie you told yourself, every false identity you built, every mask you wore, every piece of pride, bitterness, selfishness, and fear that you carried through life, the fire removes it. Not to punish you, to free you, because the soul cannot stand in the full presence of God while still clinging to the corruption it gathered on earth. The flesh must be remade, the soul must be refined, the false self must be burned away so that the true self, the self God intended from the beginning, can finally emerge. And what emerges is glorious. On earth we remember in fragments, we forget names, we misremember events. We reconstruct the past through the distorted lens of emotion and time. But in the transformed state Enoch describes, memory becomes perfect. Not in the sense that you remember every trivial detail of life, but in the sense that you finally understand your life. Every moment you wondered, why did this happen to me? You see the answer. Every relationship that ended in confusion, you see the truth. Every pain that seemed meaningless, you see how it shaped you, refined you, prepared you. The soul doesn't just remember what happened, it remembers why it mattered. And this is where the terror and the beauty collide. Because when you stand before God in your glorified form, with perfect memory and perfect understanding, you will see your life exactly as it was. Not through the lens of self-deception, not through the filter of excuses. You will see every moment where you chose love, and you will see every moment where you chose yourself. You will see every wound you carried and every wound you inflicted. You will see the person you became and the person you could have been. And you will know with absolute clarity whether you used your life to become more like God or more like the enemy of God. Enoch describes the final form of the righteous in terms that sound almost impossible. Enoch 108:11-12. And now I will summon the spirits of the good who belong to the generation of light, and I will transform those who were born in darkness, and I will bring forth in shining light those who have loved my holy name. The righteous don't just go to heaven, they are rebuilt for heaven. Their bodies, no longer flesh, become bodies of light, incorruptible, unbreakable, eternal. They are given garments of glory, crowns of righteousness, forms that reflect the image of God himself. And here's what most people miss. Enoch suggests this transformation belongs to souls already shaped by mercy, truth, and love while still on earth. The fire does not invent holiness. It unveils what the soul has been becoming all along. Those who chose mercy over vengeance, forgiveness over bitterness, truth over comfort, love over self-preservation. They are the ones whose souls are ready to be transformed. Because the fire doesn't create something new, it reveals what was always there. But there is one dimension of transformation Enoch's vision quietly implies, one that may be even more unsettling than judgment itself. It is the collapse of false memory. On earth, we survive by rewriting our own story. We justify our anger. We rename pride as strength. We call selfishness self-protection. We reduce our failures to circumstances. We soften the damage we caused because the full truth would be too painful to carry. Human memory is selective, not always because we lie deliberately, but because the soul inside a wounded body learns to protect itself through distortion. We remember ourselves as better than we were, kinder than we were, more honest than we were, more innocent than we were. But in the ascent Enoch describes, that protection begins to dissolve. As the soul rises closer to the realms of divine light, Memory is no longer filtered through ego, trauma, fear, or self-preservation. For the first time, the soul sees events exactly as they unfolded. The words spoken in anger, the silence that wounded someone. The moment help was possible but withheld. The instant mercy could have changed everything. Nothing is reinterpreted, nothing is softened, nothing is hidden behind the stories we told ourselves in order to keep living. This is why divine light is terrifying. It does not merely expose sin, it removes narrative illusion. The soul no longer says, "I had no choice." It sees the choice. It no longer says, "I did my best." It sees what fear, pride, resentment, or comfort prevented it from becoming. And yet this is not cruelty. According to Enoch's logic, this is mercy at its highest form, because only a soul that finally sees truth without distortion can be truly transformed. False memory protects the old self. Perfect memory allows the false self to die. This is where many souls in the hidden heavens finally understand the deepest tragedy of earthly life. It was never only about what happened to them, it was also about what they allowed those events to turn them into. And in that revelation, the soul begins to recognize the architecture of its eternal identity, not the person it performed for the world, the person it truly became in secret. That is why recognition in the higher heavens is so absolute. Because before the soul can recognize eternity, it must first recognize itself. And once the soul sees itself without illusion, only one fear remains. What has it truly become? So here's the question that should haunt you. What is your soul becoming right now? Not what you say you believe, not what you hope happens when you die. What are you actually becoming in the choices you make every single day? Because according to Enoch, the soul you build on earth is the soul you bring into eternity. And if that soul is built on lies, pride, cruelty, and selfishness, then the fire won't transform it. It will expose it. But there's one final revelation Enoch saw, something that ties everything together. The place where justice, memory, transformation, and eternity converge. The final heaven, the throne room, the destination. On earth, identity changes constantly. Time changes us. Trauma changes us, loss changes us, age changes us. There are seasons of life where we no longer recognize the person we used to be. But according to Enoch, death does not erase identity, it sharpens it. As the soul rises beyond the lower heavens, it does not become vague or anonymous. It becomes clearer. Memory is no longer fragmented by time. Emotion is no longer clouded by fear. The soul begins to recognize itself with absolute precision. Not the version it pretended to be on earth, the version it truly became. Every choice is now visible in the structure of the soul. Every wound, every act of mercy, every betrayal, every sacrifice. The higher the soul ascends, the less room there is for illusion. And this raises one of the deepest human questions. Will we recognize the people we loved? Enoch strongly suggests yes. The righteous souls are not described as dissolving into abstract light. They remain distinct, conscious, and separated according to what they carried from earthly life. This means recognition survives death, not merely by face, but by essence. The soul knows what another soul became. It recognizes the love that shaped it. It recognizes the pain it caused. It recognizes the lives forever connected to its own. This is what makes the ascent terrifying. Because the deepest recognition is not seeing others, it is seeing yourself without defense. No excuses, no rewritten memories, no self-deception, only the exact truth of what your soul became through the life you lived. Enoch's heavens do not just preserve memory, they force recognition. And once the soul fully recognizes itself, its loves, its wounds, and its true nature, only one question remains. Where does that soul belong in eternity? On earth, we live in time, seconds, minutes, hours, days, years, decades if we're fortunate. We are slaves to the clock. We age with every tick. We lose people to time. We run out of time. We wish we had more time. Time is the prison we cannot escape. But Enoch saw a realm where time does not exist, not in the sense that it goes on forever, but in the sense that it operates on a completely different axis of reality. In the highest heaven, the one Enoch calls the dwelling place of the great glory, there is no past or future. There is only presence, eternal, undiluted, overwhelming presence. Enoch 71:15-16 describes standing before the throne of God and realizing that everything, every moment that ever was and ever will be, exists simultaneously in that space. The beginning and the end are the same. Your birth and your death are the same. Your first breath and your last breath are held in the same eternal moment before God. And in that moment you are seen, not as you were at any single point in your life, but as the totality of what you became. All of it, all at once, fully known, fully revealed. There is no hiding, no excusing, no rewriting history. You stand before perfect truth as the sum of every choice you ever made. And the question is not, did you believe the right things? The question is, did you become the kind of soul that can survive in the presence of absolute holiness? This is where Enoch's vision reaches its climax, because everything the soul carried, all the pain, all the testimony, all the evidence recorded in the books, is brought before the throne, and God renders judgment, not arbitrary judgment, not the whim of a distant deity, perfect, absolute, undeniable justice. Enoch chapter 27 describes a place prepared for those who lived in defiance of God, a valley of fire outside the presence of light, where souls are held in eternal separation. But here's what's terrifying. They choose it, not consciously, not by saying, "I want hell," but by becoming the kind of soul that cannot exist in the presence of perfect love. Enoch 27:2-3. This accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever, for those who utter with their mouths unbecoming words against God and speak hard things concerning His glory. It's not that God sends them there out of spite. It's that they spent their entire lives building a soul that is fundamentally incompatible with the nature of God. A soul built on pride cannot stand before humility himself. A soul built on hatred cannot stand before love himself. A soul built on lies cannot stand before truth himself. The fire that purifies the righteous consumes the wicked, not because God is cruel, but because they have nothing left that can survive purification. They are only corruption, and corruption cannot inherit eternity. On earth, justice fails constantly. The innocent suffer. The guilty walk free. Victims die without vindication. Abusers die in comfort. We scream into the void. Where is justice? And the silence is unbearable. But Enoch saw the answer. He saw the souls of the martyrs, those who were murdered, betrayed, destroyed by evil, and he heard their cry before the throne. Enoch 47:1-2. In those days, the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the righteous have ascended from the earth before the Lord of spirits, and the souls of those who have been killed cry out and make their plea before heaven. And God answers, not with empty comfort, not with vague promises, with action. Enoch 47:4. The Lord of spirits will bring judgment, and the Holy One will come forth with wrath, and he will execute vengeance upon all the oppressors. Every act of cruelty will be answered. Every drop of innocent blood will be accounted for. Every abuser, every tyrant, every soul that inflicted suffering and died unpunished, they will stand before perfect justice and give an account. And there will be no defense, no excuses, no distortions, only truth fully unveiled. Only truth. But for the righteous, for those whose souls were refined, transformed, and made ready, Enoch describes something beyond comprehension. He describes the final dwelling place of the redeemed. Enoch 45:4-5. In that day, my elect one shall sit on the throne of glory and shall try their works, and light shall appear to the righteous and the elect who dwell on the earth. This isn't metaphorical light. This is the light of God Himself, the same light that transforms, the same fire that purifies, now given as the eternal atmosphere in which the redeemed will live. No more pain, no more tears, no more death, not because those things are suppressed, but because the soul has been so completely transformed that it cannot experience them anymore. The glorified soul doesn't forget suffering. It transcends it. It carries the memory of every wound, but those wounds no longer define it. It remembers every injustice, but it has seen justice fulfilled. It recalls every moment of weakness, but it now exists in unbreakable strength. Enoch 96:3. Be hopeful, and do not abandon your hope, for you shall have great joy like the angels of heaven. Not someday, not eventually, when the transformation is complete. So let's return to the question we started with. What happens to our soul when we die? The world tells you nothing. You cease, you fade, you end. Religion tells you go to heaven or hell. Simple, binary, done. But Enoch, who walked with God, who saw the hidden heavens, who recorded what awaits beyond death, tells you something far more profound. Death is not the end of the soul. It's the moment the soul is finally freed to become what it was always meant to be. The body dies, but the soul awakens. Memory fades on earth, but memory becomes perfect in eternity. Pain feels meaningless here, but pain becomes testimony there. Injustice seems to win, but justice is already written in the books. Time runs out, but eternity has no clock. Your flesh decays, but your soul is remade in glory. You think death is the moment you lose yourself. But Enoch saw the truth. Death is the moment your soul remembers who it really is, not the version you pretended to be, not the identity you built to survive. The soul God intended from the beginning. And when you stand before Him in that final heaven, in your glorified form with perfect memory and absolute clarity, you will finally understand why you were born. You will see every moment of suffering as preparation, every choice as a brick in the foundation of eternity, every wound as proof that you were alive, that you mattered, that your pain was not wasted. And if you chose love over hate, mercy over vengeance, truth over comfort, and God over self, you will hear the words Enoch heard when he stood before the throne, and the soul, finally made whole, enters the glory it was always being prepared for. So maybe the question was never, what happens when we die? Maybe the real question is, what are you becoming while you're still alive? Because the soul you build here is the soul you bring there, and eternity doesn't start when you die. It starts the moment you decide what kind of soul you're going to become. Choose carefully. The books are already being written, and perhaps that is the deepest warning hidden inside Enoch's vision. The question was never only what happens after death. The real question is what your soul is becoming before death ever arrives. Every private choice shapes it. Every wound leaves its mark. Every act of mercy strengthens it. Every surrender to bitterness reshapes it. According to Enoch, eternity does not suddenly begin when the body dies. It begins now, in the slow formation of the inner self. The heavens do not invent what your soul will be. They reveal what your life has already been building in secret. That is why this message is so unsettling. It turns death from a distant mystery into a present responsibility. The soul you bring into eternity is being formed in the choices you make today. So before this journey ends, ask yourself one honest question. If your soul stood fully revealed today, what would it show? Mercy or resentment? Truth or illusion? Love or pride? Healing or harm? Because one day, according to Enoch, every hidden layer of the soul will stand in perfect light, and only what is true will remain. If this vision changed the way you think about death, suffering, or the soul, tell me in the comments. What do you believe the soul carries into eternity? Memory? Pain? Love? Justice? I'd really like to hear your perspective. And if you enjoy deep biblical mysteries, the forbidden Book of Enoch, hidden heavens, watchers, and the lost revelations removed from Scripture, subscribe and stay with us. The next journey goes even deeper into the mysteries of the heavens and the secrets ancient texts refuse to let die. Until then, remember, the soul you are building today may already be preparing its place in eternity.